Morning, good morning. It is 8 o'clock on the dot on a Saturday morning. We have made it, y'all. We've made it to the weekend. Saturday morning, June the 8th. I'm WESH 2 First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week-ish, chat about what's going on in the world of weather, hopefully get your day started off on the right note, hopefully get your day off on a beautiful note, and certainly updated on the comings and goings in the world of weather. Let's start off with an absolutely beautiful shot. This is from our Tower Cam network over in New Smyrna Beach. Lots of people already heading out to the beach, see what's doing around town there, right? Let's go to Cape Canaveral, see what's doing down there. Ah, the cruise ships. Ah, clear sky, beautiful morning. Daytona Beach, let's see what's doing there. Looking great. Kennedy Space Center, see how you are. Yeah, big surprise. Orlando International Airport, Tower Cam looking up to downtown Orlando, looking great. Marion County, you're looking good. And Tavares, yeah. It's no matter where in Central Florida you are, it really is a lovely start. First warning, Doppler radar, not showing anything. One thing, when we look at the temperatures, already things are climbing. It's 78 degrees in Orlando, 77 degrees in the Villages, 75 already in Daytona Beach. We did hit 80 for a little bit in Orlando. So we have started an uphill climb. Yeah, good times. You like that? Anyway, forecast today brings us into the 90s. 90 degrees is our average high. We get there by lunchtime, and then we just keep going. 97 degrees is our actual high temperature today. Yeah. Man, it's going to be a hot day. Only a few showers and thunder showers. Rain coverage sits at like 30%. And we were getting a new Futurecast model run. I'm like, I would love to see this go up a little bit. The coverage, of course, I mean, but it just didn't really happen. So yeah, there's that. Taylor, I'm very surprised you don't have major razor burn. And I don't even use shaving cream. That's where it gets even funnier, right? Anyway, all right, let me open up the protein shake. I've Campeche'd my way through my coffee, so I'm on to the protein coffee. All right. Good stuff, y'all. All right. So 97 is our high temperature. Today is going to be a day that we all really have to be cognizant about the heat. Okay. This is something that is fairly new. It's an experimental product from the National Weather Service. It's called the heat risk. Okay. Areas in red are under a major heat risk for today. And when we talk about that, we're talking about basically, think about it like this. Minor means that if you're really working hard, you could really get into some trouble with heat exhaustion or heat stroke. When you get into moderate, it means you don't even have to be working all that hard. If you're doing any kind of motion and not hydrating, you could run into trouble. Major means light exercise outside, you could run into trouble. And extreme, well, there's an extreme concern. Tomorrow, same thing, a major concern for heat risk. And then looking ahead to Monday, even though temperatures are coming down, the heat index is up. And thus, we're getting into extreme. So we'll see how this plays out. But really and truly, the next couple of days for Central Florida are going to be running in that extreme caution zone for the feels like temperatures. So seriously, my friends, take it easy, okay? Weekend forecast, keeping the rain chances low, the air temperatures high, 20-30% chance of showers and thunder showers. If you're heading over to the beaches, it all does want to kind of pile up there. Seas and surf fairly flat, only about a foot or so. Water temperatures running in the lower range of the 80s, so that feels good. Couple of storms in the forecast for today. Let's dial up the old Futurecast and see where we're at, my friends, because we do have that opportunity for rain, all right? So this morning, clear skies, looking good. There's lunchtime. I mean, it's gorgeous, right? It's a beautiful day. Let's continue on from there. 1, 2 o'clock, popcorn showers, right? 3 o'clock, we've got some bubble up showers, even a couple of thunder showers trying to get going out east of town. 5, 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock, the rain's around kind of the St. Johns River Basin there. East Osceola, East Orange, into Brevard County, particularly. And then by 8, 9 o'clock, any of the rains that are around starts to fade out just a little bit. So temperatures, I think, are going to be the bigger forecast deal today than anything else. Here's a look at those numbers. 97 in Orlando, 98 degrees today in Claremont, 96 in Palm Bay. It is going to be hot. All right. Um any questions about where we're at today? We're going to look ahead next. There's a lot to talk about in the world of weather today, so I want to make sure that we're covered there. Train isn't going to go off the tracks just yet. I got a lot of weather to talk about. Then the train could go flying off the tracks. All right? So that's where we're at right now. My brother says no thank you. Believe me, if I had any control over this darn train, I can keep the coffee talk train on. I just can't keep the forecast train on. All right? So that's kind of where we're at. Okay. Why is it so hot already? Isn't this July temps? What's interesting is this isn't even July temps. You bring up an interesting point. So let's discuss that, okay? These temperatures are blistering hot. With today's forecast of 97, today would be the 7th day at or above 97 degrees for the year. The last time through June the 8th that we did that was in the year 2000. This is like a once in every 15, going back through time, this is like a once in every 15, 20 year type of a thing. So this is a hot year. This is absolutely, you're not crazy. I mean, you probably are crazy. Like you're sitting here, you spent your morning listening to a weather guy talk about weather on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. So like, you are a little crazy. But at the same point in time, you're not crazy to think that this is hot because this is absolutely hot. Yeah, I think it's kind of an interesting little statistic. So there's that. We had that wildfire breakout in Osceola. The other thing is that we're still running pretty dry. The Keach-Byram Drought Index. What this does is this measures how much rain we would need to get that soil back saturated. And we're seeing the oranges and the reds. We are definitely into a drought. Drought monitor, by definition, is showing our area as being under, for at least the most part of our area, being under a moderate drought, with South Florida technically under a severe drought. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at in terms of rain numbers. In Orlando, we need 6.5 inches of rain. Just the other day, I got like what, memory serve, like 4.5 inches of rain at my house. Like I got a ton of rain. We need a lot of that. We need a lot of rain in the forecast. And thus, I introduce you to Central Florida's certified most accurate 7-day forecast, because while we need a lot of rain, guess what? We've got a lot of rain in the forecast. Not today, not tomorrow, even really Monday. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that's where the forecast train flies off the tracks and completely changes things. Is that the start of the wet season? It certainly could be. We've got basically all the markers there. We just need kind of an area of low pressure to park over us and fire up the moisture machine. And that looks like exactly what's happening. So let's take a look at the tropical satellite. What you doing down there, Tex? Hey, there's some disturbed weather down there in the Caribbean, isn't it? Right? From Belize back over to Cuba. Clouds and moisture, a little tropical wave getting going down there. For now, I will advertise that the Hurricane Center does not have any areas highlighted. There's no tropical development expected over the next 7 days' time. But back here, that moisture is a marker that the models have been trying to talk about for days and days and days. And if you've been looking, and we'll look at all the models together in their raw form, certainly. But essentially, there is a big swath of moisture down there, and over the next few days, that swath of moisture moves north. It moves into our area. Take a look. This is the GFS, and we look at pressures on Coffee Talk in a raw sense, but this is just the moisture plume, right? And that's Thursday afternoon. There's Friday. A lot of moisture. Now, I see it spinning. Does that mean it's a hurricane? No. Models are not indicating any kind of hurricane development here. Could there be some low end tropical development? It's possible. We'll see. Water temperatures are warm enough. We'll have to see how Saharan dust and wind shear play in. But an area of low pressure spins. Whether it's a hurricane or not, it's not going to be a hurricane. But there's definitely going to be some moisture moving our direction. So let's look at how much. The European and the GFS models, both going pretty wet. By far and away, the GFS has been the most bullish with this. The GFS also likes to make fake storms a lot, so we've kind of been hanging back on like going crazy with it, but it's at least worth mentioning and it's at least worth discussing. So let's do this. If you're new to Coffee Talk, and I know you guys are asking questions, and I'm just running my mouth, but we're gonna do some weather and then we'll chat. But if you're new to Coffee Talk, one of the fun things about this, at least to me, is the opportunity to look at some raw weather data. Okay, so this is a look at the raw GFS model. Okay, and the raw GFS model allows us to look at pressures and all different things. So basically, just looking at this graphic, bottom right corner, you see those oranges? That's anomalously high pressure. The blues over us, that's anomalously low pressure, little weak fronts over us. But watch how the greens and the purples, that's indicating something trying to form. And you can kind of see it's this saucy little area of low pressure trying to get going on the GFS, even some like little mesovortices around it, something like that. Around mid to late this week, big piece of moisture moving in, bringing some rain to us, and then, moving on up. And then look after that, another little piece around the 23rd. So a couple of opportunities for some decent rains. Nothing that looks to be too strong, which is good. All right, that's the GFS. Let's pop over and look at the European. This is the 6Z run of the European. It only goes out 90 hours, so can't go too far out. But you can see the European model also trying to develop an area of low pressure south and west of us, which would be throwing us some moisture certainly over the next couple of days. If I go back to the 00Z, I can go further out, and it's bringing an area of low pressure. It's not doing anything strong with it. Moving some rain over to Texas, Louisiana, though. And then beyond that, if we switch over and look at the European AI model, and just so that you know, I don't have any history of using this AI model because it's new. So we don't know biases, but for now, we're just looking at it. There's that little piece of energy bringing us some rain, and then it's kind of left over with another piece of energy lifting up into the northern Carolina, not Carolinas, the northern Gulf. Now that does kind of fit our cycling weather pattern. And then something out, maybe Turks, Caicos, Puerto Rico. Nothing strong, nothing super organized, but some moisture around, right? Yeah. If we look at the ensembles, and I think that the ensembles are always great to look at. GFS ensemble, Oceanic, Caribbean. Let's look at multi-member pressure. All right. So ensembles. This is the GFS ensemble. Think of it as like Baskin Robbins. It's 51 different flavors of the model. But you're starting to see some of these ensemble members coming alive with lowering pressure around the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, with a second opportunity there. Yeah, around the 20th, 21st. Okay, so definitely area to focus on. That's the GFS ensemble. We look at the European ensemble. Yep, a little bit of moisture, nothing crazy this week, just some weak areas of low pressure. And then kind of down the way, throwing a couple of areas of low pressure in the Gulf and in the Caribbean. So yeah, okay. So interesting. So the models are showing some opportunities for rainfall, which to me, that's the most beautiful sight this little weather nerd could see. Rain chances for us going up. And as you can see, the GFS is quite wet operationally versus the euro. Though the indication is that we're going to have some opportunities for rain these next couple of days. So absolutely a needed thing. By the way, talking about that though, and we talked about this during the Track in the Tropics yesterday, quietest hurricane season we've seen in like a decade. Slowest start in 10 years. 0 named storms so far. Last time that happened was 2014. So love that. I'm not sad about it. Just one of those things. Just one of those things. All right, Central Florida's most accurate 7-day forecast. Now we can chat, and now we can let this train go off the tracks. Lisa says, love your long range outlook. Helps my anxiety during hurricane season. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Fluidity, like it. Where does it start? So does it form Mexico coming across? Me confused. It's not that it's going to form it. It's probably going to be just this big, nasty swath of moisture and nothing more, That's kind of what it looks like. Which is, that's fine. That's fine. Um, A big swath of moisture is just what the doctor ordered. Jeannie says not mad about it either. Yeah. You haven't been watching the comments, friend. Comments are on fire. Well, see, now I'm disappointed. I've missed the party. Troy, do I use the CMC? Yeah, on occasion. Absolutely. Especially when we get into storm tracking, we go into all the models. For right now, I'm just kind of staying surface because there's no need to go too deep into the weeds. Moisture's bubbling up. I think all the models are kind of indicating that. It's just a matter of just how deep down does that rabbit hole go. That's kind of the idea. Yeah. I think it's hilarious. They were like most active hurricane season this year, but it's actually quiet. Well, I mean, I did not forecast the overall storm numbers to be wicked crazy. I expected it to be active, but my numbers, I would say, when you look at the WESH numbers versus everybody else, our numbers are probably on the lower end of things, right? Like here's the hurricane seasonal forecasts. Yeah, I mean WESH is definitely on the lower end of things. So there's that. Charles says the beard is gone, so much less gray. I know. I know. When it comes back the next time, I'm sure it'll be grayer. William always asking the same question. Is the hurricane will hit Dunellen on Friday? No. There will not be a hurricane hitting Dunellen on Friday. No. Chris is asking what I think. I level all of the models. I look at all the models. I don't have any significant thoughts one way or another with it. Yeah. I know where I'll be on the Moss Islander. I don't know what I mean, a tiki bar doesn't sound bad. I'll tell you that much. I'm going back to work on Monday. Of course, that's when the rain starts. Love to sit and listen to the rain. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got to enjoy that nasty storm at home the other day, which was nice. Carol, I'm sorry to hear that. What about Daytona? Will we have a hurricane this weekend? No. Taylor, ironically, you also will not have a hurricane this weekend. Yeah. But the one thing that's interesting, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, for those of you asking, like, what time, things like that, we don't really have, it doesn't work that way just yet because watch how it's all about this tropical moisture lifting in. And depending on how this progresses, that's going to play into things. But it looks like we're going to have a pretty wet forecast this week. This is the kind of setup we've got. Just for now, just disturbed weather south of us. But it'll get there, as this disturbed weather, as the models observe it, as this disturbed weather continues to bubble up down in the Caribbean, that sort of thing, that's where we'll be. So, yeah. Yeah. Brian says, thank you for presenting all the evidence to us so we can make our own decisions. Of course. I mean, I'll try to, share all the information I can. I want to share with you all the data. And you'll notice Brian on YouTube, Brian FL $USA on YouTube. You'll notice that Come hurricane season, when we get into the weeds, when we're tracking big storms, I'll go through a ton of model data you can ask, and I'll pop up even other, if there's something I skip or something. We're going to try and go through all of it together. And we're going to do our best to give you all the information. None of us know what will ever obviously happen for certain. We can only use the data to give the best forecast we can. So, yeah. 8 days in and people want to start using the Q word to describe the season. I didn't say that it was going to be a season-long thing at all. I'm still forecasting an above-average season. But it's the quietest start to the season in 10 years, and that's a statistic. That's empirical data. It is what it is. Terry, didn't we get 4 hurricanes? It was in '04 that we got 4 hurricanes. Yeah. Yep. Shauna, my husband and I are on the preview cruise on the Margaritaville at Sea Islander from Tampa this Tuesday to Thursday. It's a media and content creators special cruise before the inaugural on Friday. That sounds so fun. It's also going to be wet. I mean, listen, I would love to be on a cruise ship with you, hanging out, especially if it's free. If they're letting you go for free, then there's that. But there's going to be a ton of rain. Like, you're going to get to explore a lot of the inside parts of that ship, Shauna. A lot. Especially if it's out on the west side of things. Heather over on X says, thanks for always having our backs. When I moved here in August of 23, you said you have our backs. I will always fight hard to have your back, 100%. Yeah. Eric on YouTube, what analog year do you think is closest to this year in terms of the conditions for hurricane season? You're asking me at this moment. I found like 3 or 4 that were good analogs. All had an at or even slightly below average number of named storms. Seriously. That was, I think, the most interesting part of this. That was why if you look at the WESH forecast, we went lower than everybody else for that reason. Because the analogs were lower. What? What is that nonsense? Looks like my computer's having an issue, doesn't it? Love that. Okay. Well, it's always fun in games until the computer starts freaking itself out. So yeah, that's, and for those of you that are wondering what analogs are ways to look at past years that had similar scenarios and kind of try to line that up. So in other words, we found 3 or 4 years that were fairly similar to this year's setup. And so using that, the idea is to try and come up with a forecast or to try and use those as pieces of information to base off of. So that's what an analog is. If you're unfamiliar with the kind of vernacular there, all right. So yeah, that's where we came up with our numbers, and yeah, admittedly, our numbers are lower than the other forecasts that are out there. Heather says, "Thanks for always having our backs." When I moved to, oh, I already read that. My apologies. Let's see here. Yucky meter off the charts. Oh, 100% correct. Yeah. Annie says, you're the best meteorologist, always keeping us in the loop, teaching us. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Statistically, with a quiet start, what have those past years looked like storm-wise? Quiet starts, it's not going to correlate to anything. You've got to look at more than just the start of the season. That's all. Yeah. It's all comped with Wi-Fi, alcohol, food, and we have extended balcony near the aft of the ship. Oh man, that is awesome. I wish I could do something fun like that. Man. Patty says, we moved here in '04. Welcome to Florida. Isn't that the truth? Like, welcome to Florida. That's 3. You get a hurricane and you get a hurricane. Let's hope it's not like that this year. If it is, we'll get through it. We can do it. We've been there before. We'll do it again. Right? All right. Questions, comments, concerns, anything at all? Anything at all? How we doing? Yeah. If I go to News 6, will I still do coffee talk? Who said anything about me going over there? Am I going over there, Yukon? Do you know something I don't? Jan, thanks so much. Miss June, glad you're back with us. Thank you, Jan. I appreciate that. Yeah, Florida's going to Florida. Lauren, on YouTube, you said it. You said it. Driving to Tampa on Friday. How bad will it be? Michelle, it's not that it's going to be like hurricaning, but it looks like there's just going to be a lot of rain. That's all. Just looks like it's going to be a lot of rain. Joanne says, I just hope the rainy season starts this week. 100% hope that the rainy season starts this week. 100%. I'm there too. My grass is begging for it. Andy says you're forbidden to go there. I didn't think it was going there. Yukon, Tom Soros is retired, so figured you'd apply. Maybe bad assumption. Listen, I've been with my company almost 20 years now. It's gonna take a lot to pull me away. I'm not saying it can't be done. Boss, if you're listening, it can be done. I'm just, they've been good to me, so my company's been good to me. But yeah, I didn't say anything about going anywhere. I like where I'm at. Oh, man. Janice, that's funny. If I had the Wrangler, right? All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns, friends? It's hot. It's hot outside. Man, it's hot outside. You got one, Victoria? Oh, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I've not been in one. I'd love to. Oh, well. I'd love to get one. I have one ordered. Doubt that I'm going to pick it up, but I've got one ordered. All right. All right. All right. Chris is asking, and Chris keeps asking about there's no rocket launch that I see scheduled for today. So no rocket launch the next couple of days from Florida. I believe there's one in Vandenberg today, but yeah, nothing here locally. So no launches. Show me the money. Exactly. You get it. You get it. Wesh 2 looks good on you. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate that. Victoria will bring it by. Let's go for a ride, baby. Have you done the model on the hurricanes or predicted for this year? Yeah, Michelle, absolutely. We do it every year. We do it every year. Why do you give up, Chris? I just answered you. All right. That's all I got. Guess I'll be off work due to storms. Well, we'll see how this plays out. It could be all day. It could not. We'll have to just see how it plays out. All right. All right, people. 8:28. That's what I got. That's all I got for you. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Take care. Hope you all have a great one. And stay cool. Stay hydrated. All right? Be good, y'all. Thank you. Take care. Bye.